I'm the CFO and CSO of Innok Robotics. We have a stand over there. In order to also address the international guests here, I will stay in English. So Innok Robotics, we are very happy to be on that nice venue here and the nice robotics festival for the first time. Our mission is we are a player in the field of autonomous mobile robots. We want, as many of the AMR producers want to add some value-added activities, or will help our customers to replace stressful, hard, dangerous, time-consuming activities by machine work. And the specific, our specific angle and advantage is that we are capable, that our AMRs have indoor and outdoor capabilities. So I think there are quite a few AMR producers, developers indoor on the market, but you will see, and I hope we'll show you that that outdoor is 98% of the world, and therefore that also needs to be addressed. Innok at a glance. So we are on the market since 2012. So we are not a startup, but right now in a very exciting phase, which is a scale-up phase, if you want. And that is actually true since June 2022. Our products are geared towards industrial applications, of course, and then research units. Among them, of course, top German universities and institutes for whatever, artificial intelligence, everything. We have customers across a broad range of industries, and I will show you later on that this is a really powerful technology, let's say, AMRs with outdoor capabilities. Our installed base at this point in time is like 50 autonomous mobile robots. And the operating hours in total, I think we can look at 100,000 so far. Our customers are, as I said, among the, let's say, research institutes. It's the, let's say, famous RWTH Aachen. We have a customer like TU Munich, so Technical University of Munich, and many others. And that was the starting point for Innok Robotics. For the first 7 years, we have actually dealt with the universities, and of course also customers, business customers like, for instance, Daimler, Stihl, Nokia, Kali and Salz. So a bit like the who is who in Germany of the industrial customers, but these were all geared towards development projects. So we were delivering a hardware, the robot platform, and they were kind of developing with those robots. But it turned out that we needed to really produce our own AMRs, so own products, and I will show you later on what our focus right now is. So what the key proposition of AMR producers always is that, okay, why do I need that? We have the cost pressure, of course, regarding labor cost, and of course the lack of labor, availability of not very experienced labor. Sometimes it's just simple labor, we cannot find it. So we come from Bavaria, Regensburg, and all southern Germany is practically, there's full employment. Yeah? So you don't get anybody, let's say, to really, it's difficult to get somebody to work, and therefore replacing manual labor by machine labor is, I think, is the agenda for now and the next several years, which is our belief. And then a push towards, of course, carbon neutrality. All our AMRs, of course, are electrically powered and are replacing combustion machinery sometimes and often. And of course, we can be part of a smart factory concepts because we automize and autonomize certain processes, which I will show you later on, which are very interesting. The return on invest of our AMRs, they are not cheap. So we are not talking about vacuum cleaner robots. Yeah? So our systems are really in the range of 80, 90, 120,000 euros. But in the end, usually you need let's say, a manual. In a manual option, you need also a, let's say, vehicle with maybe 30 or 40,000, and you have a guy sitting on top of this vehicle, which then costs you maybe 50, 60,000. So I guess in a year, usually the return on investment and the amortization should be achieved. Market overview is brilliant, is wonderful. I think you cannot read it because it's probably too small, the numbers, but alone in the area of supporting materials supply, so within the factory, within the buildings, but also warehousing is, I'd say, people are estimating like 50, 60% compounded annual growth for the next couple of years. So we're looking at probably 10 billion business alone in intralogistics, transport, autonomized mobile robot business in the next couple of years. So that is what the people say about the market. And this is true for all, I think, for all aspects of autonomous mobile robot applications. So now, why should a robot work outside? I think what is the difference also? As I said, I think 98% of the world is outside, and our vision is that within the next 10 years, maybe in 10 years, in 2032, we will look back at 2022, and we cannot even imagine by that time that so many tasks outside have been dealt with by humans. And that's a broad range of activities. So we think the autonomous mobile robot, indoor and outdoor, will be just a natural companion of the people. So like our smartphone is a supercomputer sitting in your pocket, nobody could imagine 10 years ago. And that is why we are concentrating also on indoor, outdoor, and outdoor, pure outdoor cases, because we feel that there's a lot of growth in there. And also a lot of, let's say, value for society, because keeping up the welfare of a society also can only happen if there's enough labor available. Yeah? Otherwise, it will be a decrease. So the difficulties in outdoor is you have constantly changing weather conditions. Indoor is easy, but outdoor you need to have IP65 or 68. So it's a tough environment. You have rough surfaces where usually the AMR producers are really fast out. Yeah? So you need flat grounds. You have those AMR candy bots, which are very nice, yeah, but they need flat grounds. If you have any, let's say, angles, rugged surface, they cannot cope with it. And then, of course, you have slopes. Our first AMRs, they need to really also maneuver at like 10% or 10 degrees, 10% slope, which is difficult, up and down, braking, and so on and so forth. So, and also, of course, the self-location and navigation of a robot is a challenge. Yeah? If you look at the sky, and now where am I? So these are some conditions that you have to cope with. Environmental conditions. Our robots are also used by Kali salts in salt mines, so very specific conditions. I think only a few can cope with that. And of course, there are other seamless processes that these robots have to manage. Yeah? So indoor, outdoor, I will come to that in a little later. In a nutshell, Innok Robotics, we have let's say a platform, a robot platform, which consists of, on the first hand, on the one hand side, on the hardware, which you see on the top, which is the, let's say, the Innok Heros, which is the, let's say, mother of all our small devices, which we have right now. Those will then have some, from there we, let's say, develop further on, and we developed 3 AMR platforms. One is the so-called Enduros, that's the red guy over there. It's the transport robot that we also brought with us for intralogistic and repetitive transport processes. And then we have the irrigation robot, which is called Rainos. It's able to irrigate a full shift, 8 hours, plants, flowers on cemeteries and other green areas, fully autonomous. And we have the plant inspection and surveillance robot Inspectos. On the lower side, on the lower part of this slide, you see the Innok cockpit, which is the most important part of our business. In the core, of course, we are a software company. Our autonomy software, Innok has been working on that since for 10 years now. We are ROS 2 based, and there are specific, let's say, containers within this software. One is for predictable drive control. Outside areas, it's rather difficult. We have a container for what we call Innok hybrid navigation. So we need to be able, within one mission, to switch from LiDAR, 2D and 3D LiDAR, switching over to GPS, GNSS, RTK. We just had an order from last week from Total Energies in Leuna, which is not far away here. These are huge plants, and if the AMR needs to start in a building, you can do later LiDAR navigation, but then there's probably 2.5 kilometers over open space. There's not so much structure where they can really orient themselves and localize themselves. So you need to switch automatically within our software to GPS, and then probably it's also ultrasound or whatever, and then it's odometry, it's IMU, a lot of sensor data and sensor data fusion, which is the secret sauce of Innok Robotics. I will come to that a little later, and there's a software overview, touched upon that already. We have now 3 core fields of application we are concentrating on, and I will go into the left-hand side. So the Enduros, which is the intralogistic and transportation robot. That can be done in, let's say, public spaces. It can be done without public. There are regulatory issues right now, but they will be overcome in the next couple of months and years, we think. I think that will be unavoidable also in Germany, even if we are probably a little bit behind maybe other countries. But these AMRs are, of course, safe. They have their safety features. We have sick outdoor 3 scans on top, so they're super safe compared to a crazy forklift driver. So that's just. We have the second application area, which is agriculture and irrigation. So as I said before, the Rainos can irrigate 200 graves per year. We are the only producer and a developer producer in the world that really can offer an off-the-shelf, fully autonomous system with taking not only electricity but also watering the graves throughout the full night and replacing one gardener, cemetery gardener. They have really difficulties, hot summers. Nobody wants to sit in front of graves and watering the graves. People don't like that, and you don't get those people. Yeah? And that same is true for other areas like municipalities and their green fields and so forth. And we have the inspectors. And these are the core fields. And we were forced by investors to concentrate ourselves on, yeah, what are you doing? Are you a robot producer for, what are you now? Are you a Raynos producer or are you an intralogistic producer? And I find these questions rather funny because you need to understand that like autonomous mobile robotic is the same thing like with robotics itself. Yeah? A robot is not only a welding robot, but it's enabling technology, so it's a broad range. And that is also true for all what we call expansion fields of applications. We want to be the provider for autonomous mobile robotics with outdoor capability, wherever that is. Where we have customers, where there's an attractive business, we would like to pursue it. And that is why we are now in a fundraising process for up to 8 to 10 million, which is managed by Ernst & Young in Munich. So if anybody is here and is interested participating, happy to contact me. We will happily also connect you to EY. So we have mining, we have customers like Kali und Salz. Why should we wait for them or let them waiting for 5 years and then pick up this business? Because this is an attractive business and we are, I think, one of the only ones doing autonomous mobile robotics in a salt mine, which is a harsh environment. Same thing is true. We're working with Goldbeck, Hilti and others on the field of construction demolition. Untapped field for outdoor robotics, very beautiful, very interesting, very exciting applications. Waste management, we are working with the largest Austrian waste management company, Brandner. So this will go live. This is will go live in a couple of weeks, replacing bins, dust bins, if you want, in the public space. And you see that it's also combined. It's a hybrid robot, a hybrid autonomous mobile robot, because there's also an actor on it. You see the Universal, good partners for us, and that will increase in the future. So you will have stopped by the AMR, and then there's some sort of manipulation on top of it. We have professional floor cleaning. Here we are looking for partners. So if you know somebody like Kercher or whatever, send them over to us, and then we will try to see that those floor cleaning on parking lots or whatever is done autonomously. Why should there be a guy sitting on top of such vehicles? Green energy, I don't need to tell you, mowing, cleaning those PV spaces, that is a lot of business that's coming up now due to the current situations. So I will now flip into just one application area, which is the transport robot that we brought with us. This system is used by, so we have developed it in 2020. In 2021, it was in full productive use for the full year. Our pilot customer, Zwickröll in Ulm, is happy to show you around if somebody's interested in a system. And this is a kind of a pure outdoor system. It's connecting different buildings. And well, the customer came to us and said, okay, I have 10 forklifts, and one is only driving around from one building to the next one is delivering goods, and it's like in a circular, very repetitive process. I want to have just 9 forklifts. The 10th need to be done autonomously, and can you do it? And we said yes. And I will show you in a minute. So there are some specifications. In this case, it can load up, the payload can be 500 kilograms. Infrastructure, no infrastructure needed, very flexible, as always with AMRs. Charging time is like, so it can operate like 10 hours. And this is Zwickröll in Ulm. As I said, a lot of customer requirements, needs to be safe, needs to be reliable and everything. And I think that we more or less delivered. We have a system where it's customized order management, so it's a time-controlled concept. Every 20 minutes, there is like a Schwäbische Eisenbahn. It's Ulm, Biberach, Dullesbach, so it's like it's circling around every 20 minutes. There's an exact industrialized transport process. with automatic charging, coupling, decoupling, and everything. And that is important, the charging, the coupling also. You can see here in the morning, the AMR is really leaving. It's the garage, opening the door, and then picking up the first railway station, taking up after-sales parts, and then taking them to a production hall, and then taking up the, let's say, the worked on parts and taking them back to the outbound logistic hall. So every 20 minutes, it's only 800 meters, but replacing this one forklift. So these are some impressions in real life. As you can see, there is a 3D LiDAR on top, so very safe. Also very slow. The customer said, okay, it's like good, like 0.9 meters per second, so it's like 3.6. Nothing really can happen with that. In the beginning, people were a little bit afraid, what is this guy doing here? But now it's a very normal part of the, let's say, outdoor environment on this specific plant. And our customer, Zwickeröll, is happy also to show, and any interested customer, to show them around. And they're very, in the meantime, very proud of this system, of course, because it's as to our knowledge, the only system really that is doing such a job. And yeah, if we have a chance, there is a video. Maybe our friends from the technical area can just, yes, can see that. So that is real life. So we are taking a terrestrial 3D scan with the Regal scanner. And then this is, let's say, that is the background for our operation. And then it can take really, really tough also and really very precise routes. So the customer wanted us to circle around the building because he was a bit afraid that this small guy was really pushed away by big trucks on the main loading station. So we can do that with, as I said, with 2D and 3D LiDAR. That's no problem. An important part is the automatic coupling and decoupling. This is one of the stations. So the AMR will really get a full carrier, taking it to the production area, and then the worker comes out, the blue color guy comes out, take the parts, and he exactly knows in 20 minutes it's here. So he doesn't need to have to wait for a forklift driver who's smoke a cigarette, whatever. It's an industrialized process. And now, well, you can imagine it's coupling, it's decoupling, so something's wrong with the video here. But in the end, it's connecting all those buildings, and it's doing a perfect autonomized job. And it's, well, taking the headache of Zwickeröll and many other customers. So we presented it at the Automatica and the Logimat, and we can say that we had a wonderful also reactions, and have really a big sales pipeline right now, because this is something which is really new. If you want to get more information, please stop by our booth, and happy to talk to you, and it's and open to your questions. Thank you very much for your attention.